It's here! The ultimate competition has finally arrived. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the two greatest corporate bootlickers ever to grace the center stage. PlayStation fanboys on one side, Nintendo fans on the other. Who is going to make the best excuse as to why they should give a company that doesn't care if they exist or not even more of their hard-earned money after trying to go around and defend a multi-billion-dollar corporation? One night only, Sunday. Actually, it's today. It's honestly today. You see, Sunday night, we found out that PlayStation is now going to be increasing the cost of their consoles in other countries in Europe. And we also got to see a Nintendo fanboy turn around and try to use the inflation calculator to determine as to why it is okay to spend $80 plus on video games. Bro, look, I love gaming. The thing is, though, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for a multi-billion-dollar corporation to want to turn around and charge me more money for the same product, especially PlayStation, when the PS5 is hitting 5 years old and it hasn't had a single price drop, but 2 price increases. We're living in the worst timeline. The absolute worst timeline. And you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to show you why this happens on both sides. Get ready, boys and girls. Here we go. According to VGC, the PS5 Digital Edition price has been increased in the UK, Europe, and Australia for the second time. Sony has announced that it is increasing the price of the PS5 Digital Edition again in some regions, effective immediately. Yeah, not in a couple of weeks, not in a couple of days, not in a few months, basically right now. Oh, the digital edition? That one, the one that actually should be costing less because it's 5 years old, going to be 6 pretty soon? No. We're not going to reduce the price of that to have more people buy the product and sell via volume. We're going to increase the price so you can buy it. And the crazy part is the PS5's got no games. It's got so many no games that now it's taking Xbox games to fill in the gap of it having no games. So you're raising the price of the console that's a digital version, which should have been lowered already by now, to a console that also has no games. But let's continue. The PS5 Digital Edition now costs 499 euros in Europe, up from its previous price of $449, an increase of $50. Meanwhile, in the UK, the console now costs £429, up from its previous $389, an increase of £40 to the console. This is the second time Sony has raised the price of the PS5 Digital Edition, having previously done so in 2022. The console originally cost $399 in Europe and $359 in the UK, meaning the new price marks a total increase of €100 and 70 British pounds since the launch. Am I taking crazy pills here? Is this really what's going on? We're seeing other countries now having to pay over 100 extra euro or 70 extra British pounds because of what? What's the reason? Market conditions? The tariffs? It's bullshit. It's been 5 years since the console came out. They've also put out a PS5 Pro that was $700 as well. And you're going to sit here and be like, well, reduce the cost of the original to sell more for volume? No. Increase the price. And again, it's not the first time, it's now the second time. And the crazier part is, in the US, we still haven't seen an actual reduction in the price of the console as well. Even the fact that the Slim Edition also had a price increase when it was originally launched as well, even though companies make a slim version to reduce cost of production to then make more money, passing the savings on to you and selling at a higher volume. No, they increased the price of the Slim and they sold it to you there and then added the disk drive separately. This has to be the most wackiest thing I've honestly ever seen. Anybody trying to defend any corporation in today's day and age, whether or not they are a YouTuber, an actual consumer, a fanboy, or a journalist, should be named and shamed. how anybody can sit here and be like, oh, there's value in this. I want to do it. And if you want to know why this is the way it is, let me show it to you. Here's our good friend of the channel, Nicola, kissing his PS5 Pro on Twitter because he says he's getting advanced ray tracing on it after spending $700 on a PS5 Pro after buying a regular PS5 for $500 and buying a Portal for $200. My boy spent $1,400 on consoles when he could have just gotten himself a Starforge PC, link in the description down below, and been well above whatever the PS5 Pro is in fact doing right now. Instead of kissing the PS5 Pro, he should be going around and kissing Herman Hulst's ass, because that's literally what he's been doing right now. By the way, don't get ratioed on your way out, my boy. Good to see you, by the way. And if you want to know why PlayStation fanboys are getting the brunt of this, because we're going to go to Nintendo next, it's mostly because of the clips that we had to see back in 2023, when Sony was increasing the price of video games from $60 to $70. Oh, you think I forgot? Listen to this clip here.
And what we would pay, he says, if Spider-Man 3 costs $100, I'm still buying it. Facts. So shout out to Silent Merc. He doesn't care. He wants to, you know, and I'm definitely not putting that on you, Persona, but like you were saying earlier, you were saying you don't mind to purchase a game that you love and adore to play, and I'm right there with you.
I think most people will. I think most people are willing to pay the money. Like Sean Layden, when he left, was correct. Like he said, something has to budge, either the size and the budgets or the prices. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the prices. And I'm telling you what, I'm not going to stop gaming for a $10 increase. I may bitch about it, but none of us are going to stop gaming, and they know that. So it's what it's going to be. In my opinion, it's going to be the prices.
Most people won't stop gaming if there's another increase. Like a lot of that stuff that you see on Twitter it's exclusive to Twitter, because in the real world, the numbers don't lie. Because when you're looking at all these financial reports and best-selling games of every week and all this other stuff, people are still buying. Consumers are buying games like they are.
I would gladly pay $100 for a game. I go to a fucking movie theater. I spend $80 to watch a 2-hour film.
If you can't see the corporate guzzling happening in front of you, I don't know what will. These fanboys will do anything to defend a corporation, and they need to be called out every single time, because it's not only impacting just everybody else, it's impacting the entire industry. Now, because of this, and because of the hubris that we've had to deal with for the last 3 years about $70 games and all these other consoles and paying more for money and paying more for GPUs and paying more for everything else and the cost of everything else, now we're seeing Nintendo fanboys trying to use the inflation calculator to make themselves feel better about paying $80 for video games instead. No, I'm not kidding. We are now crossing the Rubicon of actual stupidity and behavior consistently. Because my boy, apparently this dude at Switch Up decided to go ahead and make a video that didn't really do so well for himself. Now, did it? Let's see what he had to say.
Guys, I think I've reached my breaking point. Like, I am sick of the Nintendo slander and the Nintendo hate. Saying that this is a failed unveiling, this is a failed reveal, this is so disappointing, it sucks, the system's terrible, Nintendo is going to follow up a super successful system and era with a stumble and a horribly unsuccessful era. It's freaking bonkers. And look, I wish we were paying less. You always want to pay less. I wish the games cost less. Don't get me wrong. But I gained some perspective tonight that I think might actually help you out. I hope this perspective does give you a bit of solace, a bit of calm, a bit of like, peace of mind about what Nintendo is doing here. Because in my opinion, after this perspective, Nintendo is killing this launch, and Nintendo has revealed great games and awesome performance, and in 7 weeks, they made Cyberpunk run on Switch 2 better than it can run on Steam Deck. Okay, you can call me crazy, but what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. I'm going to show you some simple math. This is the US inflation calculator, all right?
Zach, there's only one time I want to hear the word inflation, and that's when it has the words Futanari in front of it. That's it. That's the only time I ever want to hear the word inflation ever in my life. Don't ever bring it up to me again, my boy. And you're sitting here running around doing damage control for Nintendo, talking about perspective, giving you a sense of calm when you wanted to head and look at an inflation calculator. And I know you're going to use it incorrectly because every single one of you clowns always does. Oh, the purchasing power of a $20 bill in 2025 is X compared to 2020. Therefore, it should be this price. That's not how that's going to work. And we're going to prove it to you you guys right now. But this consistent behavior of wanting to go around and cope yourself into sleep and making yourself feel better because you can say, oh, well, back in 2020, 60 bucks was worth this. Therefore, I'm okay spending this because a company is making video games. Just say you're a simp and you want to buy the game. There's more respect in that than anything else of trying to go around and say, oh, guys, let me explain to you why I feel better about doing this in the first place. But hey, let's see your genius take about this, because I'm sure it's not going to be. How is it?
In the year 2020, the PlayStation 5 dropped, and the PlayStation 5 introduced the $70 video game. Demon's Souls was 70 bucks. Look at how much that is in 2025. Demon's Souls was an $86 video game. I know nobody cares about inflation. I know they say dollars are dollars. They're not. Inflation is really real. Inflation is factual. Inflation is undeniable. Demon's Souls cost $6.30 more than Mario Kart. Should Mario Kart be 70? Sure, I don't know. Whatever. They decided the price. There's tariffs. There's global economy. There's Nintendo. Whatever reason you want to believe. I don't even care anymore. I'm instead going to look straight at this. Demon's Souls was $86.30. Okay? They charged their budget game was Miles Morales. Do you know how much Miles Morales was? Miles Morales was a $60 game. All right? That was a $60 game. Do you know how much the PlayStation 5 was? The PlayStation 5 was $500. In 2025, it's a $616 system. You know how much the Switch costs in 2025? $450.
I knew it. I absolutely knew this is what he was gonna do. It's honestly wild to me how these dudes will do whatever they can to sit there and make a company look good when they don't work for the company. They're not cutting you a check, my boy. You may call your channel Switch Force, but the only forcing that's happening is you trying to force yourself into a copium state about this actual process. The fact that you're sitting there running defense for Nintendo and Miyamoto and all of them because if you just want to buy the video game, just buy it, bro. If you just want to be a corpo simp, be the corpo simp. Just say it directly with your chest. Don't try to put anything else out. And using your examples, by the way, I love how the fact that what you're trying to do is literally backfiring in front of your face right now. Because I can just go on Amazon and I can look at Demon's Souls, and today as I pull up Demon's Souls, it is a $39 game. Not 86, not 70, it is $39. 39. Okay, Miles Morales, I just pulled that up today on Amazon, $33. Not 60, 33. So you want to tell me, if you want to use an inflation calculator, why these games are costing less than what you're even bringing up right now on terms of inflation than they ever actually would? You want to explain that one to me? It's because you can't. Because you're sitting here defending a company and a corpo more than anything than actually having the to say, hey, Nintendo, stop charging us more money. And the actual gall and audacity to be like, well, the Switch, you know how much that costs? $450. Look, you're trying to compare a handheld tablet device to a full-on actual home console device. One runs on a battery, one's a full-on home console. They're not even in the same ballpark right now. Just say you're a Nintendo fanboy, bro. Have some goddamn dignity in your life. Maybe then you wouldn't be in this content. But hey, guess you got to give PlayStation fanboys a break now too, don't you?
The first $70 video game was actually an $86 video game today. So I want you to see this. We're going to go backwards, right? Okay, I think you can do this. If not, I'll show you a different site. If I bought something in 2020 for $80 or 2025 for $80, it would have been $64 in 2020. You're buying a $64 video game. They've raised the price on you by negative $5.11. This is the perspective that I needed. I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I sought this out. I'm so glad I just decided to do the math for myself. Like, look, if you don't want to believe in tariffs, if you don't want to believe in global economy, you don't want to believe Nintendo's greedy, that's fine. I'm telling you right now, they are undeniably not greedy. How can you say they're greedy when Sony was charging you in 2020 $86 for your game? Demon's Souls was $86.30.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I'm gonna have a meltdown. How do you raise the price of something negatively? Negative. That does not mean go up. That means go down. How do you raise the price negative? Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You don't get this. They didn't charge you $86 in 2020 for the cost of Demon Souls. They charged you $70. The thing is you're using is that the point of inflation is to show the purchasing power over time. It does not show what the actual product should be costing or even worth for purchase. How do you clowns not get this? Every single journalist and YouTuber that pulls up this website is an actual clown, because they have no idea what it actually means. All it means is the purchasing power of what you have. Let me explain this to you like you're 5, because clearly you're If I went back in time and I got $70 of bills that were printed in 2020 and I got into a time machine and I came back to the future, that's a nice one, and I went to the bank right now and I said, hey, here's $70 from 2020. How much money are you going to give me? They're not going to give me $84. They're going to say, you're going to keep that $70 because that's exactly what they're worth. How does he not get this? They're not charging you $84 in 2020. They were charging you $70. Inflation doesn't mean that's what a product should be costing. It's what the actual buying power was at that moment in time. And you're doing backflips and saying negative increases to defend this thing. My heart rate's like, where's my heart rate? It's gotta be like 160 at how angry I am. Jesus Christ, he keeps going, but he keeps going.
Okay, can we be done with this? Can we drop the whole price thing? Like, yes, everyone wishes things were cheaper. Everyone wishes the global economy was different. Everyone wishes this tariff nonsense wasn't causing trouble. Nintendo is giving you a fair price, okay? Let's do another one. You know what you paid for the Switch? In 2017, you paid almost $400 for the Switch. You paid almost $400 for the Switch. Do you agree that this system should be better? Should be more? It's doing a lot more. It's a lot more powerful. The Switch today, in 2025 bucks, cost you $390. And they're charging you $450. So let's go backwards, okay? 2025, they're charging you $450 for this Switch. In the year that the Switch 1 came out, that would have been a $345 system. You're paying $45 more than you paid for your Switch 1, and you're getting DLSS, ray tracing, variable refresh rate. You're getting 4K. You're getting Joy-Con that won't drift. You're getting magnets. You're getting 2 USB-C ports. This has changed my whole view.
This is where your entire argument again begins to fall apart, and you honestly own yourself directly. In your actual video and this clip, you said you would be paying $345 for the Switch if you bought it today. You know how much a Switch goes for today? $299! $299 is on Amazon right now for $299, not the Lite. The regular Switch, $299. If I wanted an OLED, $350. Bro, how do you guys not even just look at what you're trying to purchase? If you're using the inflation calculator and I can debunk saying that I can buy that exact same product today at a cheaper price than what you're putting up for inflation, that means the inflation calculator shouldn't be used for what the actual product should cost. It's just the buying power of what the dollar is, not what the actual product should cost. The Switch 2 should be an OLED device. It should be 1080p, 120 hertz, and it should be at $399. The actual cost itself is $449, which I said is honestly fine because it falls into that in-between mark of the Steam Deck LCD and the Steam Deck OLED. So it's right in the middle, and I think it's aggressive at that price. It could be better if it was $399. The issue isn't just the console. The issue is the cost of the console and $80 games. That's the issue. The issue is Nintendo is literally being greedy. And I don't care how many times you want to moan about this. Let's hear it again, by the way. One more time. Doesn't make sense because you're sitting here defending a corporation, literally goat seeing your wallet because you want to buy a Switch. Just say it with your chest. You want to buy the Switch and you're a simp for the company. You'd have more respect in this content than you would than anybody else. I had a guy kiss a PS5 Pro not 15 minutes ago, and he's got more respect than you do right now. But it gets worse.
I'm showing you right here that Nintendo is not greedy. You paid the same for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as you're paying for Mario Kart World. Again, I'm going to show you one more time. $60 in 2017. Today's dollars is $78.10. Now, there's a whole other side to this, which is that wages have not gone up. Stuff sucks. People are treated unfairly. I get it. But then let's direct our energy towards that and not towards Nintendo. Nintendo is not paying your wage. Nintendo is setting a price. And Nintendo is basically setting the same price. And call me a Nintendo apologist if you want. Numbers don't lie. As a great basketball player named Rasheed Wallace for the Detroit Pistons used to say, ball don't lie. And I think this is the perfect example of ball don't lie. Mario Kart World costs the same as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I am astonished that you can literally sit there and be like, yeah, inflation sucks and wages haven't increased. And that's the reason why the purchasing power of $1 today is not the same as it was 5 years ago. Maybe that's the real problem. And you sitting there being like, but guys, don't go after Nintendo, guys. They're just setting the price. You know what I mean? You got to blame all the other stuff. I got to defend the corporation that could have easily said, hey, we're not going to consumers and customers. We're still going to make a butt ton of money just by simply putting the console at $399 and their games at $70 like they already increased their price before already, and nobody would have batted an eye. This would have been a phenomenal launch for a console. Everybody would have been doing backflips. You wouldn't be in this content, but you couldn't contain yourself. You couldn't hold yourself accountable. You couldn't say to yourself, I'm just a corporate simp. Yet here you are doing backflips for a company that doesn't know you exist. The incessant crying, whining, complaining, shitting, pissing, and cumming yourself because you want to buy a console, and the only way you're going to feel better about it is if you can twist yourself into a pretzel because you want to use an inflation calculator to determine what a company should charge you for a specific product is not how you should be doing it. Yesterday's price is not today's price, my boy.
In reality, Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe cost the same as Mario Kart World. Yep. You heard it here first. You're paying the same price you paid when you bought your Nintendo Switch 1 games. And everybody has you throwing your arms up and freaking out. I hope this brings some people perspective. Please, I'm praying that the comments are not negative. I'm praying that people aren't saying this isn't true. Can you please just listen to the numbers? The numbers, they're not scary or mysterious. This isn't Severance. The numbers are true and real. How many times? What do I need to do to prove this to you? People that bought Demon's Souls or any first-party Sony game that wasn't Miles Morales paid $86, and everyone's freaking about $80.
You know what's funny? Hearing all of these Nintendo fanboys literally having their tonsil stones punched out by Miyamoto and everybody else talking about, oh, you're spreading misinformation. You're just misinformed. You're going to spread misinformation. When this guy literally said you paid the exact same price for Mario Kart 8 as you do for Mario Kart World. And I'm going to just debunk that. No, because Mario Kart 8 was $60. Mario Kart World is $80. And if you buy Mario Kart World in the bundle with the Switch 2, guess how much that game costs you? $50. Because if the console is selling for $450 and you bundle with the game, that's $500. That means the actual price of what that game should be is $50 fucking dollars. Not 80! Not 80! They're just charging you 80 because they can. Because they know you're going to sit there and defend them for it. We are in a whole new level, a whole new era of simp that I had no idea honestly existed, and I'm ready for it. PlayStation fanboys finally can catch a little bit of a break. Not too much, just a little bit. Because you guys are on a whole other level of Gok 9000 that would make even Squidward blush. The audacity of this clown to sit there and be like, guys, please, please. Let the company charge you more money, because if you account for inflation, then it's like almost the same price. When it's not. When it's literally not. I don't care what inflation is. Nobody does. All I care about is, what are you charging me right now? And if it's too much money now, then it's too much fucking money now. I say the same thing about AMD when they fuck up, the same thing about Nvidia, the same thing about Sony, the same thing about Xbox. Everybody gets it. Everybody but you clowns. It's like I'm one of the only few people doing this now. And I'm glad that number keeps growing. So you know what? If you liked today's video, thank you. And if you didn't like it, fuck you. If you want to see more of this kind of content, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, gaming content, hot takes, fanboy content like this, and live streams every Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to break 80,000 subscribers. So if you want to be a part of that and see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you also want Discord access and emotes during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. You can download Better TTV emotes as an actual extension for your browser, get free animated emotes on YouTube that way, or hang out in the live streams every Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, because the community is incredibly generous and they always gift members. So like I said, if you want to see that Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel, come on down, have a great time. Trust me, you're going to love it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!
It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Just stop. Just stop. Stop. No. Just stop. You're a fucking idiot. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Just stop. Just stop. Stop.